Texas. Hey, Mary, what's up?
Oh, I am so thankful for your program, and I'm really appreciating it.
Thank you.
Much to my regret, I may be one of those voters who helped get Donald Trump elected. I am definitely a Democratic Socialist who supports single-payer or Medicare for all, public schools, public libraries, public parks, police departments, all those policies that are for the common good, while at the same time I am a person of very strong religious faith. And though I wouldn't interfere with the civil rights of any person's very personal, private life, I am completely opposed to the comprehensive sex education policies. I am a retired public school teacher that's being pushed by the LGBTQ people, activists, into our public schools at this time. That's comprehensive sex education. I oppose outlawing abortion, but neither do I support abortion on demand. And that issue should be medical and not political. I feel like that the group I'm in is what is more significant and important in the fact that Donald Trump got elected than anyone realizes. And I don't have a voting area now. I can't vote for anything. I wrote in a candidate in 2016. I don't know what I'll do in 2020 if Donald Trump's back on there and we don't have a really strong, good Democratic candidate I can vote for. Do you have any advice or any look into what is going on here with people that vote like me?
Yeah. Well, I consider myself a person of faith, too. What I'm curious about, Mary, is what specifically in comprehensive sex education do you object to?
Well, for one thing, they're pushing it in preschool.
No, but what's specific?
And they're mainstreaming homosexual behavior. That's
okay, so what you're objecting to is the idea that in our schools we may be teaching our kids that gay people are normal just like all the rest of us. That's what you're objecting to?
Teaching them, I misunderstood you there. We're teaching them
that gay people are normal just like the rest of us. That being gay is a part of the normal human variety.
I'm addressing the behavior. Little children are not able to comprehend that behavior. And I don't think the public schools are a place for it. The public schools is a place for academic subjects.
Okay. So, it seems to me the public schools are more than that. I would want, in fact, I've been saying this for years, I think it's a real shame that people graduate from high school, not knowing how to change a diaper or how to balance a checkbook. I think that the issue of bigotry against gay people is something that should be addressed in our schools.
Well, of course, I believe it's strictly a behavior that a person decides whether or not they're going to engage in.
I get you believe that, but the science doesn't bear that out. Mary, we'll have to have this conversation another time. I'm sorry we're hitting the break, but thank you for your call. That was an interesting and thought-provoking call from a person who's really struggling with these issues. Your thoughts on it? Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. Thinking about my conversation with Mary just a few minutes ago. Jimmy Bear just tweeted, Tom, the only thing that last caller is struggling with is her own bigotry and homophobia. It's the same old homophobic crap I've been dealing with my entire life. They all sound the same. Mary, if you're still listening or watching, I would counsel you that being gay or not being straight, because there's kind of a spectrum between the two, is not, by and large, a choice that people make. Particularly men, but also I think women as well. It is not a choice that people make. It is something that we are largely born with. We know by the time we're 6, 7, 8 years old, long before we're old enough to be sexually active. I remember when I was in elementary school, the one, fairly clearly gay kid in my class, we all knew he was. Everybody picked on him over it. And we were 8, 10 years old. This is, and these people grow up knowing that this is who they are, that they're not straight people like you and I are, Mary. And they're tortured by it in many cases because they know that society doesn't accept them, that there are people like you, Mary, who condemn them and say that they're making a choice, and they desperately try to not make that choice. They go to gay conversion therapy and have people pray over them. They take, years of psychotherapy. In some cases, they even try drugs or things, and none of it changes their gender orientation or their sexuality. And just ask anybody, how old were you when you knew you were either straight or gay? Fill in the blank if you know that that's what they are. And they will typically tell you 6, 7, 8 years old. I mean, that is when we become aware of the differences between boys and girls, and whatnot. So and it's not just humans, by the way. We see this in every species. When Louise and I lived down in the Willamette River a few years ago, we had these 2 male ducks that were just inseparable. We called them Adam and Steve. and it was a joke on the homophobes who were making these jokes about Adam and Steve or trashing them. And they were, and they came back, by the way, 2 years in a row. These two were a couple. In the animal kingdom, among mammals, you see a small percentage of mammals are gay, and as is a small percentage of humans. And that doesn't mean that we should trash these people. In fact, older cultures, you find many Native American cultures, for example, who actually honored gay people, and said that the gay people were, had an elevated understanding of these things. With regard to sex education in pre-K schools, there is, to the best of my knowledge, no such thing. The government doesn't regulate pre-K schools in any meaningful way outside of issues of safety. And so this is the kind of hysteria that Fox News and right-wing hate radio are pitching to you. Or you've got some preacher, Mary, you're listening to on the radio or subscribing to, who is telling you this to scare the hell out of you, and then will ask you for money. I guarantee whoever's telling you what you told me is also asking you for money. And that's their scam. And that's frankly something that I think Jesus would find a lot more disgusting than, well, I don't think Jesus found gay people disgusting at all. I think he would be completely accepting of them. And I believe he was. I think that there are signals of that in the Bible. So, when we don't take people for who they are, we end up behaving like bigots. And that's not something, I think, Mary, that you want to be. I don't think that Jesus was a bigot. I don't think that Christianity teaches bigotry. So that's my take on that.